Hi, I'm DJ Rad Key, and welcome to what is now my 39th vlog in the series. It is Thursday, August 2nd, 2018. No school today at the Scratch Academy, so we're talking about jobs, thinking kind of outside the box. I mean, of course, I'd like to be DJing 5 days a week and making all my income from playing music for people, but I do need to find alternative sources of income. So I've landed a 2-day job. It's at the Overseas Basketball Combines, also called the Fort Lauderdale Combines, but it's actually held in Deerfield. It's at the DS Sports Complex in Deerfield, and I will be actually a clock operator. Not DJing the event. My official title is clock operator and registration, so I'll be getting there early, assisting players in signing up, coordinating the event, and helping other people that have done this event or events like this before. And then when the games do begin, there'll be multiple games each day. Again, this is going to be August 9th and August 10th, which is next week, Thursday and Friday. So I will miss class next week, Friday, but I have not missed a class yet, and I don't plan to miss on any other ones. So I can't afford to miss a Friday class. I'll probably just stay late on Wednesday to make up for it. But kind of as a side project, in this small interview process that took place over the phone, I had mentioned that I do professionally, actually I should say semi-professionally, because as we know, I'm not exactly getting a ton of paid gigs, so we'll call myself a semi-professional DJ. But as a semi-professional DJ, I would be able to create a mix for them if they were interested, and she loved the idea. She loved the idea of having a mix made for the warm-ups. So I do have experience doing this, and I'd like to give advice to you out there in doing mixes or preparing mixes for sporting events. I've actually done multiple sporting events. The two that I'd like to talk about are represent here FAU women's basketball, the Lady Owls. I do their home games. Essentially, my job entails, and I do get paid for it, my job does entail an hour warm-up before the game. That is usually cut with the band playing towards the end. I do breaks, alternate each break with a band and timeouts. Do a little bit of a halftime mix, and play the music for the girls' dance team, and then play after the game for, as people leave the stadium. And I've also done work with the FAU football team. That was an unpaid gig, but I did both week one. I played right outside the stadium, the main gate, up until kickoff, which was an awesome experience. And a bowl championship game for Conference USA. Their contract with Coca-Cola did not include that because that was an ESPN-sponsored event. And I have I've done things with ESPN before, so I did do that event and did it outside the stadium again against the main entrance. So I'd like to kind of give you advice on how to make a mix for a sporting event. If it's not even a professional event, maybe it's your kid's sporting event, maybe it's a friend's sporting event, or maybe you do reach the big time and you're like, hey, that was great advice, DJ Radke, now I get to open for the Detroit Lions or whatever. So here's basically the main things that you have to focus on in making this mix. The length of the mix. Obviously, the length of the mix. I advise making a mix for an hour, because an hour can easily be divided up. If you make only a half an hour mix, let's say the warm-up is 35 minutes, then what are they going to do about the extra 5 minutes? Typically, the warm-up might not be a full hour, but you've got 3 20-minute mixes then, busted up. So my advice is to make an hour-long mix regardless of time. And if it goes over an hour, it's over an hour, whatever. They can start from beginning again. But that's my advice. Make an hour-long mix. If they use some of it, great. If they don't use all of it, it's still great to have. And the thing to look at it would be your audience. And I don't mean the players, I mean the audience, the actual people in the audience. Who's going to be there? Is it going to be an older crowd? Is it going to be a super young crowd? I mean, is it a high school basketball game? Your audience, it's not going to be all high school kids. It's going to be parents and teachers and stuff like that, but you're going to be playing for a high school audience. And then another factor would be players. You're actually playing for the players too. In my pregame warm-ups, I pretty much gear the first half. When I did it for FAU, which I will be doing again, the season starts off mid-November, I gear the first half hour strictly for the players. What do I did it once, the first game. I asked them, for next week, I will have all the songs you girls want to hear. What do you want to hear? Some of it just doesn't work. Some of it maybe a little bit too off color or whatever. I mean, I use obviously all edited versions, but some songs just don't work in stadium atmosphere that might work in a car. But honestly, the girls gave me about 20 songs, and I used probably about 16 to 17 of them consistently in my mix, along with some of my favorites. So, first half hour, I'd say strictly for the players. Don't even worry about the audience, because there will be no audience. Then the second half an hour, make it audience friendly. Transition. For a basketball event for FAU, your average age is 18, 19, 20-year-olds. So it's going to have to be new. And kind of like that party I talked about last week, it's going to have to be brand new. And it's also going to have to be local. Remember, location. Location's another factor I should throw out there. If you're doing an event and it's in South Florida and there's a popular artist in South Florida, for example, Kodak Black. Kodak Black's from Pompano Beach, almost right where that event is being held in Deerfield Beach. I'm going to have to drop Kodak, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm also going to drop Little Pump and XXXTentacion, 3 big artists from South Florida. Got to. It's a South Florida event. And if I was doing an event in Detroit, I'd play more Big Sean and Eminem. Also, you got to look at the gender of players. I would have a different mix from boys to girls, obviously, or men to women. I dropped some Beyonce. I dropped some more Drake love songs, some Rihanna. And I'm not going to drop in Rihanna and Drake love songs or Beyonce in my mix for this men's basketball league. It'd be silly. Not that I couldn't, but it's just not the crowd. These guys want to hear hard, I would say, gangster rap. That's gonna be it's gonna be split up. It's not gonna be all new hard gangster rap, but it's gonna be pretty much all rap. So making this basketball mix, like I said, I'm taking into account that it's a Florida audience. I'm taking into account that there's actually gonna be not a lot of audience members. There's probably gonna be people that are watching, but for the most part, it's gonna be scouts, coaches, trainers, maybe agents, people that want these players for this G League. This event that I'm doing, the NBA's developmental league. It's going to be the players and people that want those players to succeed and move on to the NBA. So, with that in mind, I'm not going to look too much at the audience. It's going to be more weight on the players because there'll be more players there. And even if the players aren't involved in the game, they're just going to be sitting out watching other players play while they're in between games or whatever. So those are just some ideas to think about again, and give you an idea where I'm at with my mix now. I am going, it is Thursday, it's the day off of school today, but I am going down to maybe do the first, we'll say the first draft of my mix for this basketball event. I'm going to do it all on vinyl. I'm not going to go back and edit it with Ableton. I want it to be a live mix, bass representing me as a DJ, not me as a producer, me as a DJ. What you're hearing is what you get. What you're hearing is what you get. There's going to be mistakes made. There might be some poor transitions, but that's just who I am. It's who I am right now as a DJ. I'm not going to go back and edit it or produce it. I'm laying down an hour-long mix and recording it. So the goal today is to go into school on my day off, bang out this mix, sleep on it for a day or two. That gets me into next week. Listen to it again, listen maybe some mistakes, and bang that mix out again and have a final version by Wednesday for Thursday morning. So that's the plan with the mix. I'm busting the mix into 4 sections, maybe not exactly 15 minutes a piece, but I want to kind of have a nice flow, almost like a timeline. I'm dividing it into 4 sections. We're going to have old school, which is going to be, for example, like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Big L. That would be like the old school category. Maybe some Dre, Snoop Dogg. You get the feel for old school. Other time period we'll talk about is throwback era, which is like Lil Wayne, T.I., 50 Cent. And obviously those guys are still around. They're still doing stuff, but they were in their heyday in what I would consider the throwback era. And then you have recent. Recent would be like Drake, Future, Rich Homie Quan. You could even say Migos. Artists that have been around for multiple years. Definitely aren't throwback artists, even though Drake's really early Drake is on some throwback artist tracks. He's recent, and then you have new. Like new is artists that have only really been known over the last couple of years, maybe 2 years max. And I would say guys like Lil Pump, XXXTentacion, rest in peace, and like Kodak Black, are like new artists that I'm gonna feature. So I'm gonna kind of have like I said, an hour-long mix, 15 minutes of each of those. Not necessarily do 15, 15, and 15, but again, tie it all together for a nice hour-long mix. Hopefully these players will enjoy, and hopefully some of them will make the pros. And I could be like, man, I dropped a mix at your G League, when you back in the day when you were just up and coming, and now you're a big star, and drop Drake my mix when you go to a Toronto Raptors game. You never know. But again, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching these vlogs. See everything that is DJ Rad Key on djradkey.com. Be good to people, say hi to strangers, as in always. Peace.